We're starting the show off in the kitchen this morning with what I believe is one of the best Italian restaurants in the Emerald City. Chef Stuart Lane of Capitol Hill Spinasse joins me now with a delicious recipe perfect for late summer. Hello, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us. We're very excited.
You guys are always so busy, and so we feel so lucky that you get to bring the food right here to our studio. So thank you.
Well, we're very fortunate. Yeah, we're gonna do stuffed squash blossoms today. Summer delight, basically.
Is this on the menu right now?
Yeah, this is on the menu at Spinasse right now, and this is coming from Newaukum Farms, from Frank's Produce, and they're just beautiful. They're gorgeous, coming in a couple times a week for the next, probably, I'm not sure, maybe a couple more weeks.
That's what I was wondering, if you're changing seasonally, the menu, something like this.
Spinasse, we and Artusi both, we basically change kind of here and there throughout the whole year, so it's every couple weeks, every week something changes as something comes in season, out of season, so it's really transitional. We don't do new menu on this day, and then 3 months later new menu on this day. It's just kind of always tweaking, adding mushrooms as they come in, adding squash blossoms as they come in.
Delicious. So you're going to show me how to get started. I hope I don't let you down. So what's the process?
Okay, so we have the squash blossoms right here, and depending on how they come in, a lot of people grow squash too, so this could be in your garden, right?
True.
So you just cut it, we go here. I think you could maybe scrape this down and this is edible, but we don't usually do that. They're kind of small, but then we take these off.
Again, edible potentially, but just...
I would say some of them are longer too, and so they're just a little weirder to eat and stuff.
Yeah, the texture.
And there's a little, they're flowers, so there's a little stamen in there or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can take those out, but I think that they're fine to have them in. And then so we'll just make a little spot, and they're best when they're super fresh, right? Because they're bigger and more open and everything. So this is a lot easier.
What's going in there with the filling that looks so good?
This is just ricotta, basil, a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil, lemon zest.
Yeah.
Just you just mix it all together. Just get the best ricotta you can find, and then only fill it. If this is the squash blossom, don't fill it all the way up here. Fill it there. A lot of people tempura these and then batter them and fry them because it kind of keeps them. We went a little bit more old school traditional and just did a 3-step breading process, which you'll see in a second. But yeah, we just kept it very straightforward. And then so you have it this, and then give it a little bit of a twist.
Ooh.
To kind of close that so the ricotta doesn't dump out into the oil. That might happen a little bit, but
that might be a little messy.
Trying to avoid that. And then just a little bit of flour.
Okay, this is eggs. Flour first. Yeah. You show me how to do it, and then I'm gonna do one.
We'll just kind of do this.
Lightly.
Yeah, and you can get in there like that if you want.
You can get messy.
Yeah.
We like it.
So a little bit, trying to knock off the excess flour, and then in the egg, and then same, kind of just roll it around, make sure the egg is touching
my hands. Yeah, we're going in. I'm just going in.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then same, you basically then go let that excess drain out, and then dump it into the egg back. I'm just kidding. This is panko breadcrumbs that are basically pureed in a food processor, so they're a little finer than normal.
That's what I was gonna say. They do
that'll
look
help
fine.
it coat a little bit better.
Oh no! See, we're just gonna use our hands. It's so fun.
Yeah. Just get as much breadcrumb as you can. All over the place.
Really layering it on.
And then in the fryer, which you want to do
that,
or
look
I can
okay?
do it. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll.
I don't know. You can do it if you want, but so then just
how hot does that need to be?
This is 350. Give it another little twist, and then in. Let it go a little bit. You can put a little bit in first and then drop it. That way it kind of it starts to fry, and then when you let go, it'll move up and stay instead of just dropping.
Right.
One, you could splash and hurt yourself, but two, it'll kind of stay buoyant if you fry a little bit first and then let it go down.
Right.
So it's it's a tiny little thing that you can do. And then we'll just let
how
it
long?
turn
Okay.
around. I mean,
and
you
what
can
are
see
we
it's
looking? Yeah, that was
basically
quick.
golden brown because you've got the ricotta inside, and so that's just warming up. You're not really you don't have to cook it. There's nothing in there that's dangerous. You can just eat this raw right now. So you're basically
I would
just
honestly take spoonfuls of that ricotta. Sounds amazing.
And then we're just letting it get a little bit more evenly fried. And we'll take it out.
And what kind are you of sauce are you pairing this with? Like, what kind of flavor profiles should we expect?
So maybe in Italy you would just like eat it just like this and with nothing at all. But we did it with the marinara, and this is like a Marcella Hazan classic, like, you know, marinara, which is just tomatoes, canned tomatoes, like pureed with like a half an onion, a little bit of chili flake, salt, and then and butter, which is kind of weird, but it's delicious. I mean, it's weird. People don't think of it as having butter normally, but it has a little bit of butter in it, and then we cook it for like, I'm not sure, like a half an hour or something, not very long.
Okay.
You know, and then strain out the onion, and that's basically it. So it's just very pure of tomato.
Yeah.
And then
I love that you're giving us like some of the like secret ingredients to all of your famous dishes too. That's very helpful.
Yeah, so then it's just a little bit of marinara.
And what did you season with that too?
Just salt, kosher salt.
Okay.
You know, your favorite salt, but you could use like anything that you like. You know, obviously if you did table salt, you go like really light on it.
Well, yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to dive in. And while I'm doing that, what else is on the menu? Because we talked about how things can change seasonally, but you also have your staples. So what are some of your favorites on Spinasse?
I mean, the Tyrine with butter and sage is like one of our classic dishes. And you know, during the summertime, we have the cavatelli with short rib ragu with little blistered tomatoes on top, and that is kind of like a real hit. And all these recipes I'm talking about are going to be in our cookbook that is out next year. We're super excited. We haven't told a million people about it, but yeah, there's going to be a Spinasse cookbook coming out in 2026. So.
Okay, tell everyone about this cookbook because it was a true labor of love.
Yeah.
And it's your first one, right?
Yeah, it's our first one. Our staff would definitely say it was a labor of love. Yeah, but we had like a lot of recipes and we had to pare it down a little bit, and it took us, you know, like a year and a half, 2 years to put it all together. And we're in the design phase right now, and yeah, we're really excited to share that when it comes out.
And it's a family affair, right? There's some
my daughter and my wife and daughter are going to be in the book. Hopefully that doesn't get kicked out of the design. No, but my daughter's
They're in.
My daughter Delilah, she's 5 years old, and so she's like super adorable in a little dress, like eating pasta and all this stuff, and she's super cute. So
I can't wait to see that. This is amazing, as always. Everything there is fantastic. The ricotta, everything is delicious, and the tomato just bursting through with flavor. Fantastic. For everyone that hasn't been to Spinasse, how would you describe the vibe? Because you have, you know, that bar top where you can sit and watch y'all making pasta. So walk me through the vibe.
I think it's like I think one of the strengths of Spinasse is that we can kind of hit on different levels. You know, like people will come in and just get some pasta, watch the people make pasta, look at like one pasta, you know, and maybe a cocktail or something like that. We also have people coming in with like their anniversary. It could be like their 25th anniversary or something like that, and they're having, you know, $400 bottles of Barolo and, you know, a full menu, our degustazione menu. And so we hit on those different levels, and so it can feel very like refined and fancy, and it can also feel pretty casual too. And I think it's always been one of the strengths of Spinasse.
Absolutely. And tell everyone too about your events coming up, and the private room is so great.
Oh yeah, we have a private dining room. Our great manager, Steph, helps with that, our event coordinator. But yeah, it's like we can handle up to about 35 people, and it's great. It's got its own room, own kitchen, bathroom, everything. So it's like very secluded, and you can get all of Spinasse's food and everything, but feel like it's very cozy. And so it's a really nice space.
And you have another restaurant right next door. So usually if Spinasse is slammed, you go there, but you were saying it's slammed at Artusi.
Artusi's been real busy. And so, and the nice thing about Artusi is like, you know, Spinasse is Piemontese. I'm gonna turn this off real quick. I feel like it might be getting a little hot.
It's sizzling.
But it's like Spinasse is Piemontese. So we're like a very specific region, and we try to like hold to that. Artusi is more broadly Italian, so we feel like we can borrow from like more places, and so it enables us to kind of have a little bit more fun. It's a little more casual, and so it's a little less expensive than Spinasse, but we don't really change how we do anything for the restaurant, and so it's a great, you know, if you want something to have like, you know, an Amaro cocktail or you know, and some meatballs or something, you can get it at Artusi and feel like you can just come in and you don't have to plan out or anything like that. Like sometimes you have to do at Spinasse.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chef, for being here. Always a pleasure.